Yes.
I was wondering, huh? You
Hmm.
know what I'm talking about? I was wondering,
You had a wonderful thought.
it is a Wonderful Life. I was wondering if perhaps we were playing the same game, and we are. One of
Hmm.
Barbenheimers of the video game world that,
Yes,
like a
yes.
nuclear explosion, got dropped on the gaming landscape this past Friday, and that is Super Mario Bros. Hey Jeff, Super Mario Bros. It's not brothers, it's bros.
Hmm.
Super Mario Brothers Wonder. You and I have both been spending some time with it. I would love to hear your thoughts on the new 2D Mario.
I'm not too far into it. It's hard to kind of say uh, where I would say I'm on the third world. I've eliminated two of the things you're supposed to eliminate. I guess
Okay,
if that
yeah.
makes sense for anybody that's played it. Um, but I'm playing it with my son. So we've been playing it together. I was very excited to have a Switch game we could play together. I'm always looking forward to games we can play together. So we've been playing that. Um, I think it's great. It's super charming. I think the badge system is really clever. I wish you could use different badges. I don't know. Can you?
You can swap your badge before any
No, no,
level.
no. But like, if I was playing and he was playing, could we have different badges?
My understanding, I also have been playing a lot with my children, and I have not seen a way to make that possible. It
Okay.
seems like we all,
Because he wants
excuse
to
me,
see
all have
the
the
other
same
ones, and I'm
badge.
like, why would you not do the hat?
Well, keep playing.
Sure, fair enough. Well, he's obsessed with getting the top of the flag, so then he was like, oh
Oh,
wait,
yeah,
okay, I
sure,
need the hat.
yeah.
But yeah, it's so clever. The art is incredible. I think the wonder mechanic, which shifts the levels in kind of really zany ways. I think it's like the second or third level. It really like comes out swinging with a kind of musical thing that is just incredible. Um, I like the kind of co-op mechanic of if my son or I fail or get hurt, we can just fly over to each other and not waste a life. I'm always into those types of mechanics. So anything that's added there is a welcome kind of feature. And the the having the kind of crown above the character and that controls where the camera goes based on a person is a little rough, but I get it. I would just like to be the crown guy because I'll wait for my son. My son will not wait for me. He would just be like, "See ya." I'm like, "Please wait, please wait, please wait." He's not big into secrets until you actually point out the secret. But I
Mm.
don't want to point out the secret. I want him to, kind of figure it out on his own. But yeah, there's a lot of variety. The badges add new kind of platforming mechanics. There's new abilities like the bubble flower thing and the big elephant that everybody has seen, and those um, are pretty fun. I like the way that the perspective can shift and the levels. It is a 2D Mario game, but it doesn't just feel like you're just playing 2D Mario levels over and over again. They do some very clever things with, especially with the Wonder Flower. Yeah, I think if you have any familiarity with a 2D Mario game and you enjoyed those at any level, at any experience in your life, you'll have a great time with this one.
I co-sign everything you said. I am also not. I have not rolled credits in it. I think I'm a little further along than you are, but I'm playing also solo, but then also playing a three-player game with both of my children. And I would put this game at the top tier of any platformer ever made. Having not finished it yet, so maybe my opinion will change, but I, full-throatedly love Super Mario Brothers Wonder. I think it is an absolute triumph top to bottom. If this is how the Switch ends, there could not be a more beautiful headstone atop its grave as this system goes into the sunset. I am blown away by the beauty of the game. Again, Nintendo is proving to be, just master artists working within the constraints of a system. Here's a game that's coming out after the Super Mario Brothers movie, which was stunning and beautiful. And I think I was on the film cast when they talked about it. I think I described it as every scene in the movie could be paused and turned into a poster. Like the movie was that beautiful. And this game, while not looking like the movie, in no way looks bad. It's not like, oh, if only it looked like the movie. Like they have found an art style for Super Mario Brothers Wonder that makes it look crisp and fresh and bright and dynamic, and the way the characters animate is just absolutely phenomenal. Every little touch of, going into a pipe and Luigi reaches back for his hat or whatever it is, or Yoshi, the thing we've seen a million times of sticking the tongue out. But something about this game and the frames per second, it's able to maintain a very consistent 60, and just firing on all cylinders. And then the creativity in almost and maybe all level of this game. I can't get in a time machine and go back to when I first played Super Mario Brothers 3, or when I first played World, and remembering how blown away I was by those moments in that moment. But this game, again, I have not finished it, so maybe it falls flat halfway through. I don't expect it to. I think this is my favorite Mario platformer of all time. The sheer creativity shown in each level, and for a franchise that is, what, 38 years old or however old the franchise is, for them to find this level of creativity in these levels and having it be 2D and a side scroller again. We've seen wonderful creativity in Galaxy and in Odyssey, but seeing that now expressed in 2D after suffering's not the right word per se, but after suffering through multiple new Super Mario Brothers side scrollers that kind of, in my opinion, became tired. But then after also celebrating all of the incredible fan made levels in Super Mario Maker 2, I know Jeff talked about before when that game came out, where it's like, well, they can do nothing else. Every level's been achieved, brilliance has been achieved. And now, as Jeff mentioned on this show, what Wonder does is it goes, oh, we've brought in things that aren't possible in Super Mario Maker and brand new mechanics you've never seen before. And I truly do not think the trailers do this game justice with what the Wonder Flower brings to it. And you see it on screen, and it's like, oh, the pipe's bendy now, or ooh, the perspective shift, and now we have a top-down camera for a little bit. Are things that they've shown in trailers, but playing the game in those moments when you get the Wonder Flower and having the world change in a totally different way, or musical elements coming in, or perspective literally shifting and having the goal dynamically change. Just everything about this game feels, I joked about the old Game Pro score of before, but every sound, graphics, gameplay, replayability 5.0, it just feels absolute top tier, and it's across the board of even the subtle decisions they made. There's no timer. And the amount of a lot of Mario games have that timer to get to the flagpole by a certain time, and Wonder doesn't have that. There's also rarely, some levels do, and I think for a good reason, but there's rarely the screen that keeps pushing you left to right. You're able to explore this full world and find the secrets and live in it. But also, as you mentioned with your son Anthony, it's not required. Even the Wonder Flower isn't required. I think this game has a really creative approach to difficulty, where Yoshi and oh gosh, what's the other guy's name?
Nabbit.
Nabbit, thank you. Don't take damage from enemies on screen, and so that's immediately changes the play. Yoshi has the tongue, and players can ride on Yoshi as well. So that also is maybe perhaps quote unquote easier than playing as another character. And then the badges are both things that could make levels easier, but also make them more challenging depending on what you want to do. The creativity in the badges and how you unlock them. And then the level progression. You don't have to do every single level. It's get 5 of these seeds to be able to take on the boss, but how you do that is up to you, and each level shows you how difficult it is. I've been to a few secret areas that have truly punishing, I mean, just you know, I know it's a good game when I'm getting that callus on the side of my thumb, from on the D-pad where it's like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm really working this bad boy. I'm getting back into my roots. Just phenomenal. There are levels that, remind me of my favorite parts of Celeste in terms of pure platforming brilliance. And to say that this is a pixel perfect platformer, even though it's not pixel art, not all the time, but sometimes it requires that level of precision. I I can't I can't handle 2023. My top 5 favorite games of the year I think is 72 games, and somehow here we are on October 20th, and with Spider-Man 2 and Super Mario Wonder, two more came out that are like, "Hey, we should be at the top of your list." I think if you've seen the trailers for Super Mario Wonder and you think, not for me, I'd give it a second chance. Maybe go to Target and play the demo. I don't know how well the demo encapsulates what this game does, but my goodness, it's just creative and brilliant and fun, and my kids are loving it. Uh, and I thought who's been playing these games for forever. I'm having like genuine, jaw hits the floor moments of like amazing. Just the creativity on display on these levels. I'm like, oh, I didn't even consider that as an option. And they've introduced it as a gameplay mechanic. I could go on and on forever, but Anthony, I love this game. And Evan, if you've already bought it
It's very
and you
good.
have it sitting on your pile, I would highly recommend it as the next game that you slot in when you have some RimWorld time available.